All right, I'm glad to have you again on Governance Insight. I'm Tochku Raphael. Now, we're going to discuss today something that is trending in the political world, the defection, the battle for the 2027 election. Who is going to win this battle? Now, in Delta State, a whole People's Democratic Party members in that state have defected to the All Progressive Congress, the ruling party. The governor, Governor Sharif, the former governor Okowa, the state party chairman, and all the chairmen of all local governments, PDP, they have defected to APC. What a historic moment in Nigeria. Now, what is the cause of this defection? What is responsible for it? What do they intend to achieve? Of course, I have always had one man who analyzes political events in Nigeria, the one and only Ibrahim Umawase. Ibrahim, welcome to Governance Insight.
Thank you for having me once again.
Now, it's good to have you again. I always love your discussion, your analysis, your opinion on these events. But I want to ask a question, because defection, political party defections seems to be a virtue in Nigeria. It seems to be a virtue because it is rampant, it is unbridled. Now look at a whole PDP in Delta State defecting to APC. Defection is not ordinary in Nigeria. I mean, out of the ordinary. It is not something that is strange. But what is the cause of this?
You know, sadly, I would like to start by saying in Nigeria, there is nothing like politics of ideology. Politics of ideology, in other words, is not infringed in our democracy or our political principles in Nigeria. It's not in any way the politicians agreeing on a term. For example, if you compare our politics with the United States of America or the UK, whereby you find out that the Democrats are clearly liberals and the Republicans are conservatives. In Nigeria, it's not like that. It's all about power. And no politician is a monopoly to virtue, and no politician is a monopoly to corruption.
But do you think that this latest defection has to do with the coming presidential election in 2027?
Of course, definitely, 100%. This is a clear message. You know, you might like or hate the sitting president Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but one thing stands out: he is a master in this game, and he plays it the way it should be. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu knows fully well that wars and politics are not won by conviction alone. They are not won by brute force alone, but they are won by those who understand the art of chaos. So he is playing the game according to the rule.
All right. Now, let's go deeper. Because this thing is becoming interesting. These political events, defection from one party to the other. Now, what do you think will be the outcome of this defection? Because there seems to be only two forces now, coalition forces. We have P2B and, El Rufai. The rumors that they might merge together, form of a coalition or merger. Then, on the other hand, you have APC. Tinubu, as you said, calculating his moves, his next move, what he's going to do. So, what do you think? Who is going to win for you? Based on the merging coalition now, what do you think would be the factors to determine the victory of whom in 2027?
All right. I strongly believe that in politics, it's very hard to predict something that is going to happen even tomorrow, because one day, one utterance is enough to make the miracle or the damage. And as a politician, you need to maintain that equilibrium unto that very day. So saying with absolute certainty who is going to win is very hard. But as you rightly said, what are the parameters that we are going to look and probably think it might take the coalition to the
For example, in 2027, Muslim was used by Tinubu. It was a powerful tool used to...
politics is just like a game of puzzle. It be like once you shift this one and shift this one, it will be in this array. Or once you put this one and this one, it will be in a perfect shape. So with regard to 2027 election and my experience in Nigerian politics, I understand that Nigerians are more motivated by their religion than tribe, most especially northern part of Nigeria. You see, in southern part of Nigeria, there is that religious bigotry. But I would say to some reasonable extent, tribalism have overshadowed that religious sentiment. In northern part of Nigeria, it is not religion. It is not tribalism. It is clearly religion. So the game here is that if Peter Obi and Nasiru El-Rufai and Atiku Abubakar are coming together, without a doubt, they are going to form a very strong force based on these two parameters. Peter Obi has accepted both in the north and southern part of Nigeria, and his stronghold is southern part of Nigeria. Clearly, during the 2023 election, Peter Obi won 9 states from the southern part of Nigeria. His stronghold is southern part of Nigeria. Atiku Abubakar won 9 states from the north, which clearly stamped that northern part of Nigeria is his stronghold. So bringing these two forces together, it will be very, very hard for Tinubu to survive, the current administration. So they must bring a counter to it. And there is a possibility that maybe there will be a candidacy of Peter Obi on the ticket and Konkosu. Konkosu, I would not say he has that acceptance that
Is it Konkosu or El-Rufai?
No, I'll get to that.
Okay.
There is also a possibility of Konkosu, Obi and Nasiru El-Rufai.
Right.
But let's talk about Konkosu and Peter Obi first.
Okay.
Konkosu does not has the reach like Peter Obi and Atiku, but he do have the reach, most especially in northern part of Nigeria.
Exactly.
Yeah, he will solidify their reach in northern part of Nigeria. Well, Obi will solidify the reach in southern part of Nigeria, which will also be a very strong force to reckon with. Nasiru El-Rufai and Obi will also be a strong force to reckon with. But in politics, we have what we call the SWOT analysis. What are your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats? So, if you want me to explain this further.
No, of course.
Okay, your strength is what you have that give you an edge over the rest of the candidates. You have it. Like, it is not an opportunity. You have it as your strength. For example, let's take Peter Obi, for example. His character, his track records are his strengths, right? He has it. He owns it. Then what are his weaknesses? His weaknesses are what he has, what he owns that will bring him down. So the weaknesses of Peter Obi in that case are his tribe, because, you know, there is that Igbophobia across every tribe. And Nigerians fear Igbo people. They think Igbo people have a hidden agenda. And I think that's due to the civil war. So his biggest weakness is his own tribe. And what are his opportunities? His opportunities, as far as 2023 election is concerned, is his religion. Because at the time, we had 3 presidential candidate major that were Muslims. So in that case, considering the fact that Nigeria is a country whereby both Muslims and Christians comes together as demographically equal, it gives him an opportunity as the only Christian in the rest. And you know, as I said earlier, we are mostly motivated by religion than even tribalism. So that was his opportunity. And the opportunity is something that you get from the society, not you didn't own it. You get. So his religion, people will just look at him, Buhari is a Muslim. So the right person to succeed him should be a Christian, considering the fact that Nigeria is a multi-religious state. So that was his opportunity. Then his threat. The threat, just like the opportunity, is just the negation of the opportunity, the threat. Okay. Then what were his threats? The threat was he didn't have structure in Nigeria.
Structure?
Yeah, political structure that will give him, like, if you vote for him, you need someone to stand there. You need someone who understands the game. So that was his threat. So taking Peter Obi as a case study, I think people will understand what this SWOT analysis stands for. So every ticket has its own strength, but it must have a weakness. So Tinubu has to exploit that weakness. So as a political analyst, it will be a fair game if now the defection of Okowa to PDP, I'm not looking at it as anything other than to APC. I'm just looking at it in the lens that no, this is just barely for the sake of political propaganda. It will weaken the rivals, most especially the followers that don't even understand politics. The whole vice presidential candidate. But I don't think Okowa holds any political significance, because he was the vice presidential candidate to Atiku Abubakar when Obi won Delta State. So that means he holds no political relevance in his own state. So it's just...
What about the predecessor, Sheriff? And in fact, all members of PDP, according to reports, defected to APC. So...
Yeah, you have to understand that there's a difference between support and betting blood. I usually repeat that. If you support a candidate, that's when politicians have a chance to manipulate election in a state. But if the electorate bets their blood for a candidate, you stand no chance to rig any election anywhere. You get? So in Delta State, the people knows what they want. And I don't think these political forces will change anything. So the only advantage that Tinubu has is to the supporters. It will weaken the morale of the supporters of their rivals and encourage his own supporters that he is doing well. But the game is just played evenly. Okowa knows that he is not going to be on the ticket with Atiku or with anybody come 2027. So he played his game. And I would say that Okowa was responsible for Muslim tickets, APC's Muslim ticket at the course of 2023 election. And I'll tell you why. Okowa, before PDP primaries, before any primaries, the southern governors unanimously agreed that they are not going to accept vice president to any northerner. All the 17 governors were present, and the meeting was held in Delta State. He was governor then. He was the one that chaired the meeting. He was the one that read the communique after the meeting. That's the path they charted unanimously. They are not going to accept any vice presidential bids to any northerner because Buhari is a northerner, and the person that is to succeed him should come from the south. Right? They agreed on that. But fast forward to PDP primaries. You think Wike's madness is coming from only Tambuwal's betrayal? No. Yes, agreed. Tambuwal was his ally and a closest friend. And he counted on him a lot. He think Tambuwal is definitely going to stand with him. But the biggest betrayal and the most painful one comes from his own brother from Niger Delta. He supported Atiku Abubakar at the time. And he declared his own support to Atiku on that primaries. Supported Atiku, delivered 30% of the delegate from the Niger Delta to Atiku Abubakar, while they had a candidate in Nyesom Wike. Right? And to add more salt to the wound, Atiku Abubakar picked him. And as I said earlier, politics is just like puzzle. For APC, it's all about power. To PDP, it's all about power. So if PDP choose Atiku Abubakar to fly their flag, what is the viable ticket that would defeat Atiku? So don't forget, APC delayed their primaries because they wanted to know PDP stand. So when Atiku emerged, he took Okowa, a Muslim and Christian, northern and southern, a very fair ticket, right? But it means more than that. To an average electorate, it means sentiment. It means tribal sentiment, religious bigotry, and all of that. So for APC, since they said our next candidate is coming from the south, they must come and calculate more. Bringing a Christian from the south, they will just be a failure before it even starts. Because the Muslim population in the north will clearly vote for Atiku Abubakar due to the fact that he's both a Muslim and a northerner. And don't forget that there are places, at the time, there was no Obi ticket, right? Obi came, let's and just destroy their calculation. So at the time, just putting these two tickets on ground, you clearly see that PDP will just emerge if APC take a Christian from southern part of Nigeria. So they chose Tinubu, a political strategist, someone who has invested in a lot of people in southern part of Nigeria and has a lot of political experience. It makes a lot of sense. But their biggest weakness was who will emerge as the running mate of Tinubu. Tinubu, a southern Muslim, picking a northern Christian, a minority in the south and a minority in the north, is a clear failure. So the best ticket is a minority, since Muslims are minority in the south, pick a majority in the north. Then the ticket will be even. And most likely they will emerge victorious. And that's what they did. And I believe in butterfly effect. If Okowa had stick to his gun of not supporting a northerner, most likely Wiki would have been the candidate of the PDP. So it would be more easier for APC to choose maybe, what's the name, the vice presidential candidate, Yemi Shubanjo, or Rotimi Amechi, to compete with him. And it will be Christian against Christian. All of them will come and pick a Muslim as their running mates. So the cost of APC Muslim ticket was Patrick Okowa. So it didn't come as a surprise to me at all. He just went where he belongs.
You have given a riveting analysis. That's why I love you here. You always coming to, entertain. When you speak about political events, it's like you're telling stories, nice stories. Now, because of time, let me have one more question from you. Tinubu Kwankwaso versus P2B El-Rufai. Who do you think will emerge victorious? Why?
Let me just plainly,
briefly, please.
Put my political sentiment aside.
Okay.
Tinubu Kwankwaso and Obi El-Rufai. I believe that Tinubu El-Rufai will have, Tinubu Kwankwaso will have an edge, a slightest edge over Obi El-Rufai's ticket. And my reason being that power of incumbency, Tinubu holds the power now. Most of the political cabals will stick with him, right? And Nasiru El-Rufai, Kwankwaso, rather, has a significant support and sympathy also from the northern part of Nigeria, considering the fact that he came from the state with the highest number of votes in northern part of Nigeria and second in Nigeria behind Lagos. So Kano state is his stronghold. And now he will defect. If he is going to defect, he will defect with his governor. Right? They definitely hold a chance to win Kano state. right? So I'm considering the fact that Nasru El-Rufai has a lot of controversy surrounding him. Some people believe that he is a religious bigot because of his own political strategies. So going by that, you can infer that most of the Christians in northern part of Nigeria are not going to vote for the ticket, considering the fact that they don't believe in Nasru El-Rufai. And don't forget that the Christians population in northern part of Nigeria solidly stood with Peter Obi during the course of 2023 election. So for me, if I'm going to be sentiment free, I would say the only ticket now that will defeat the current administration is Atiku Obi. That's the only ticket that remains. If the president decide to pick Konkoso as his running mate.
All right. You have said it all, but I don't think it is possible. Let's dish that out next time. Ibrahim Umar Wase, DDM political analyst. It's nice having you on this program.
Thank you.
All right, that's it on Governance Insight. I am Tochukwu Raphael. If you love this video, do not hesitate to hit the like button, make your comments, share this video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more exciting things ahead. Thank you very much.